Hi, my name's Decklyn and this is my presentation on club and volunteer development. My assignment 2 presentation reflecting upon the structures, impacts and the benefits of volunteering. So what will be included in this presentation? Well, in this presentation I'll be talking about the benefits, challenges and the impacts and the structures of volunteering and the opportunities that clubs have to recruit and deploy volunteers. I will also be discussing my own personal experiences of volunteering and the impacts and the benefits it had on me as a young developing coach. I shall also be explaining the company that I volunteered for and talk about how they bring in volunteers. Some things I'll reflect upon primarily will be how the participants were affected by my coaching sessions and what did they gain from the experience, how volunteering affects young coaches such as myself and what we get from volunteering, and how volunteering affects organisations that receive volunteers. So, what is a volunteer? Well, a volunteer is an individual that participates in sport and its development, and they take time out of their schedule to help out clubs, whether it be local or national. A volunteer is a main contributor to the development of a club and its players as they offer their experience and knowledge for free. Volunteers are a vital part in sport, and without them most sports could not happen, as said by Sport England 2016. Now below, just got a small video clip showing that volunteers are not just coaches, they can be much more than that.
Volunteering is for everyone.
I thought I'm going out there.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Why not?
Oh, there's no volunteers.
What now?
I don't know.
There he is, it's the ref!
On your marks.
Oh, I have. Or do I?
Set.
So that was just a short clip showing that volunteers can not just be coaches, but can be linesmen, referees, they can even be the lady giving out cups of tea, stuff like that. So, volunteering in the UK. So without volunteers in the UK, grassroots clubs simply just couldn't go anywhere, as volunteers bring in experience, knowledge and the ability to want to do it. So this shows that they are clearly passionate and want the experience of volunteering. That was set by livingsport.co.uk 2017. There are plenty of places to volunteer in the UK and gain that valuable experience, such as local community clubs or even city football clubs. Places such as Living Sport are an organisation that help promote volunteering locally and have received the funds from Sport England to help support and develop volunteering participants. So there are some great perks when it comes to volunteering in the UK. The most important being experience, obviously, and the knowledge you gain out of volunteering. You can also gain qualifications, as some clubs will either pay part or even the full amount of the qualification for you to also gain skills. It will help your day-to-day, such as confidence, and all of this looks amazing on your CV when you're applying for jobs, obviously. So, my volunteering experience. Now, at the minute, I have only had a very basic volunteering experience, which I hope to further in the future. I volunteered at my old sixth form, where I had to coach sessions for children ages 6 to 7 on a weekly basis. This was a good opportunity for me, as I saw it as my first step into the coaching world, and this has made me want to choose it as a career pathway, and I want to go on to become a PE teacher or something like that in the future to do with sports. So another experience I had was not necessarily sport related, but was done including sports activities. Every time this was volunteering in the Scouts as a guide who basically helped the children and the supervisors, and you've got to take charge, set up activities and create new ones. So I volunteered here for a short period of time, as my nephew was a scout here, so I saw it as an opportunity to spend time with him, but also gain experience and knowledge from volunteering there, which was a great experience for me. So, what challenges did I face during my experience? Well, a major challenge that I faced while volunteering at my sixth form was that I was very nervous, and this was my first ever experience where I had to be in control of a group of people all on my own. So I was very nervous, I was shaking through my whole body, but I had to overcome this, otherwise I would not progress or gain any experience out of it. So I did that, and that really helped me progress with my developing coaching career. Another challenge was that participants were just young children of the age 6 to 7 years. So this proved challenging, as they were a lot harder to control, obviously, because they weren't teenagers or adults, they were only young. But nonetheless, I got their full attention. So they weren't that hard to coach. So that was a good day for me, and as I said, further increased my experience and knowledge of coaching, and I'm pretty good with doing it with younger children now. In fact, I prefer it sometimes. So the opportunity is to recruit and deploy volunteers. So an idol of mine that was only a few years above me in school was Everton football star Ross Barkley from Merseyside, who many of you may not know started his career just playing football at school like a normal lad, and he was scouted with no hassle. All of that happened not just on his own ability though, but with the guidance he received of teachers. Now this is a major fact that brings volunteers to schools, is that the potential to give the children the correct drive in sports, and they want to be big stars and that. so it makes them want to choose sport as a future pathway. Volunteers also love the school, as the school is very passionate about sports and how they develop children within sport in the school. So they hold things such as basketball, wheelchair basketball, football, netball, all usual sports, and they've got a swimming pool in the school. So it was a great school for sports and made me want to become a PE teacher and go on to do sports because my teacher was amazing. So the impacts on my role as a volunteer and what skills did I obtain? So some of the impacts on my role are that I have managed to make a lot of new friends and gained a lot of experience, not just in coaching but in life as well, such as health benefits and communication and confidence. It has developed me as a person, and the confidence boost is incredible. Say I need to go for an interview for a job in my day-to-day life, it doesn't shake me at all. I just run in with my best in and shirt on, do it. So the skills I've obtained so far are confidence. So confidence is something I did not have before. So this has helped me a lot when it comes to coaching, as I used to be very nervous around people and shy now and then. So communication. I've always been a relatively shy person, but since doing some volunteering and starting at university, I've gained excellent communication skills. The ability to coach. So since volunteering, I've gained a better ability to coach, as I've done it now a lot of times, so I find it very easy to coach. In fact, I actually love doing coaching. It's one of my favourite things to do. Experience and knowledge. So I've gained a vast amount of knowledge and experience in the coaching industry, and I'd like to furthermore gain some more knowledge. So my coaching ability. So my coaching ability is getting stronger and stronger each week as I hold 1 to 2 sessions a week in the Seaton Finney Centre here, which is a sports centre we have in Preston at the Yukon campus. During some of my modules, I really enjoy doing this, as it's a great experience and it gives me more and more confidence. I've started to write down some of my coaching drills and stuff in a little book, so each time I can go in with a new little coaching session or activity and just put it out there, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, but you reflect upon that and learn as you go, obviously. So I'm now confident in my own ability, and I'm going to gain more experience in my time away from university to give me something also to keep me busy in summer and make new friends while doing it. It's also helped me socially as well, obviously. So, how will my experience help me develop as a person? So personally, my experience has helped me grow as a person, meaning I find it easier to go for interviews for jobs in your day-to-day life, or working on my own physique and health, which is very important to me and it's very useful to keep fit and healthy. So it also helps me at university, as we have to regularly give coaching sessions and our experiences, so it really helps with that. I believe that my experience helped me develop as a person straight away, as it gave me the shunt I needed to realise what I wanted to do in the future. And it's made me a lot more mature during the process, and I plan to build a career around it in sports, doing what I love the most, which is coaching a group of people and having fun, and letting them have fun too. So, what I will do for more experience in the future. So, I'll be looking on starting my coaching qualification level 1, so that I can access a more broader variety of clubs or schools to deliver my personal coaching sessions to new groups of individuals and help them develop as future athletes and stars. I will also be looking to volunteer at a local football club and run some coaching sessions and try my best to deliver some non-sport specific sessions, which will bring an element of fun to the participants. It's not just the usual football drills, you know, dribbling, shooting. during the summer, I shall also be hosting a local football tournament for the kids and that, of all ages, to come down at the local park, and I'll have help off my friends to do this, which will give me even more experience, and it'll be nice to just get the kids out in the sunshine for some exercise and fun, you know, so they're not getting into trouble or what have you. So, coaching level 1 and level 2, and how these are essential when becoming a coach. So I've got a short clip here, just describing what your coaching level 1 and level 2 qualifications are, and what changes might happen in the future to them.
If you look at the level 1, level 2, we've been working behind the scenes here at St George's Park over the last 18 months, 2 years, to really embed the key messages from the England DNA about how we support, coach our players, how we play the game, what the future player looks like. But also it's important that we look at the new competency framework that's coming in around coaching, which recognises the external skills and experience and knowledge that coaches bring with them on their coaching journey. I think it's important that we're always looking about how we improve what we do to support our coaches. This is an opportunity now to introduce some new content, to look at a variety of blended learning techniques, and to really help support the coaches who will make a difference in creating better players for the future. The new level 1, level 2 courses really have the DNA absolutely at the central core of what the course is about. Each of the courses will look at how we coach, how we play the future player, and how we support. So if we look at level 1, that will be made up of 7 workshops which will look at those key elements of the DNA, and an 8th workshop which will look at the safeguarding and its emergency aid. Whilst at level 2, we'll have 3 blocks of work, which between them will have 20 workshops with the DNA and against those core themes. I think what we've looked to do is to simplify the pathway to support all coaches, whether they're new to the journey or already part of that journey going forward. For those that already have the level 1, level 2, they'll be able to go forward now and do the FA Youth Award module, which will then link into the level 3 UEFA B going forward in 2017. For coaches who already have their Mod 1 or their Mod 2, they'll be able to pick up the missing blocks and the missing workshops to enhance their learning and go forward towards the new level 2. I think for coaches new to the pathway, they'll be able to come in, they'll be able hopefully to embrace the new awards, get involved in the practice, learn about the England DNA, learn about how we motivate, create players, how we challenge players and improve them so we can really make it a better system for English football.
Right, so that was just a short little video clip there explaining your coaching level 1 and level 2 qualifications, and a little bit about your level 3 UEFA B, and some of the changes that might happen in the future to them. So your coaching level 1 is a very important qualification, and is necessary if you are planning to become a coach. It's relatively affordable, it's not too expensive, I think around 150, 100 something like that. So it's easy to acquire. I myself have not taken the course yet, but I plan to do it in the near future, very soon, as I want to become a PE teacher, as I've already explained. Now the level 2 qualification, as said by the FA, is to help learners reflect on, realise the impact of, and justify the decisions they make while encouraging a long-term view on the player's development. That was the FA 2017. Just references page there. So that's the end of my presentation, so thank you for watching.